Okay, guys, we're back with We Still Don't Know. We need a couple more suggestions, and we promise.
Next time, we'll pick a name for sure.
We started out, so it was Monday, January 18th, and that's kind of when everything happened with the exhaust.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Monday, we had the wrong side originally when we first had our appointment on Thursday. So this was our second appointment. Got there in the morning, bright and early, excited, and then in my head I'm like, oh, it's not going to show up this morning. So I got there, and sure enough, it didn't show up. So I was talking to the guys, and I was calling, and I was panicked, but it showed up like an hour later. So it was on the first shipment in, and they got it. Only took them like 5 hours to install it, so I actually just hung out there. And the guys down there were really cool. All of them were super nice, super helpful. So they got everything installed, and basically by 1 o'clock we were like, well, what do we want to do? Do we want to go to lunch with Cara and Josiah, or should we just like hightail it down south so we can get closer to the border? Because we're meeting up with Dilly and Enoch from Moleisure X Ventures to cross the border together. We just thought it'd be safer if we crossed the border together than separate. And so we ended up making the choice to head out of town.
And I don't know if you guys remember the night before, Jason was told to move the trailer the next morning, and so he had moved the trailer, and he wasn't too keen on leaving it there overnight as well. And so he's like, I don't know if it's going to be the best idea to leave the trailer on this really sketchy street.
And as it turns out, it was, because we had a guy that like pulled up, and we were basically moving everything, getting everything packed up, and it took us an hour or so. But in the meantime, this guy pulls up in the semi, and he's like, what are you guys doing out here?
It's a garbage man.
Yeah, it's a garbage man?
Yeah.
Oh. Apparently, I picked the worst corner in all of LA to park on, but we got everything packed up in about an hour and a half and got on the road heading south. We knew it was going to be kind of a later night, so we got down to where they were camped about 9:30.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, done. And
we're going to bed.
Went to bed. And then got up bright and early the next morning. Everybody was... Actually, I take that back. I was excited.
I think I was just anxious.
Yeah, everybody's anxious and grumpy. I had a good time. I was excited to go down there. And so we left probably 7:30, 8 to go in and do our errands.
It was 10.
Okay, 10. 7:30 or 8 in my book.
He needed to run to Lowe's to get a couple bolts, and I went into Target to get a couple things real quick, and then literally drove 30 minutes, and
we were down to the border.
Down to the border of Baja.
And it was like, well, actually, there was a fiasco before that, because I had ammo in the trailer, and I had assumed that she had given it all to our friend in LA to store for us while we crossed the border. And we were literally there was no other place to pull off. If we were, there was the cross street, the border, and then there was a shop right here. So I pulled in, ran through everything, and sure enough, there was a box of shotgun shells, and so
whoops, my bad.
We left it on the side of the road right there, so somebody got a free box of shotgun shells, but we're glad we did. I mean, they probably wouldn't have found it anyways, so they didn't go through everything. It actually was pretty easy going through. He asked me a few questions, wanted to look through the rifle boxes on the top of the truck. There's all tools up there.
They didn't even ask for our passports, which was, I was like, wait, what? You don't want to see our passports? So
yeah, and so
kind of interesting.
Basically, easy peasy, went down, and then Mama Ox was panicked because these people just kept coming up to our truck to ask for money, and I thought it was funny. I was just,
It's not so bad, once you get into Baja, but I feel like just, crossing the border, not knowing what to expect, and then, everyone's swarming to your car, and you don't know these people, and so I don't know, just kind of a little bit of a sketchy.
By swarming, there was 3 people. 2 people stopped at one stoplight, and then she's like, everybody swarmed our car, and I was like, literally one person came up and asked for money, but I can understand how I'd feel like that. But anyway, so we hit the road and headed into
San Felipe.
San Felipe. Yep. So San Felipe is about 2 hours southwest of Mexicali, and it's just a little coastal town. A lot of the Baja races start there. Yeah, and so what did we do?
We got tacos. What was that place called?
Adriana's Taqueria, and it was right on the boardwalk, whatever you want to call that, like beachfront, right in downtown San Felipe. Downtown, it's like small, but it was pretty. And then from there, we went and grabbed our campsite, right?
Yeah, we stayed at just a little, what was
Victor's?
RV park area.
Victor's RV park. It wasn't anything to speak of about. It was cheap.
It was actually it was nice, I feel like.
It was just rainy, I think, is the reason why we left.
Yeah. So yeah, on Wednesday we woke up,
Packed up,
and went down to Gonzaga Bay, which was about 2.5 hours south.
Yeah. And it was pretty. It was, probably our best camp spot so far in the week that we've spent in Baja. But it was right on the beach.
Yeah, so we stayed Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night there. It was called Papa Fernandez. So yeah, we spent Thursday just kind of hanging out at the beach, playing on the water, and
episode.
Jason over here hammered out an episode for you guys.
Day. That's not typical. Usually it takes me 2 full days, but I hammered through it.
Yeah, he did a really good job. So check out last week's video here.
I'll put a link right there.
And Friday we just decided to we actually were trying to find Wi-Fi to upload the video for Friday, and
if you ever plan on coming to,
could not find Wi-Fi anywhere fast enough to upload the video.
I think my time ran out before I uploaded the video. So anyways,
that was on Friday.
That was on Friday. So we went to lunch at that little restaurant on the beach, and then got
some more tacos, fish tacos. They were delicious.
Yeah, and then went back
to find out that there was a windstorm on the beach. So Delia and Enoch were still on the beach on Friday, and they kind of hung out there, and we left our paddleboard with them so they can use it. And apparently we get back, and there was this huge windstorm that tore up their rooftop tent and tore up our awning.
And the awning was at a 20-degree angle from where it is now. And so they were trying to get that down. Their thing, I guess some stuff had blown up the hill, and they went to get the stuff up the hill, and when they got back, they realized that the paddleboard had blown into the water, and they couldn't get it. And that night, I had got what you guys had. I was, done for. So I went to bed at 4. And then, since then, I've just been pumping myself full of drugs to keep myself going.
Drugs, a.k.a. ibuprofen. So Saturday morning, there was this little mom and pop taco truck, and so I went to try and communicate with them. And so I
basically send Mama Ox to do all the communicating. I don't know what it is about international travel, but when it comes to communicating with people, I'm I'll ask them one question. If they don't understand, I'm okay, fine, forget it, I'm out of here.
And I feel like I did a pretty good job communicating. They understood what I was saying. And they were trying to tell me, go to this spot where the fishermen are. And so they were so kind to say, hey, I'm going to go in and look for your paddleboard for you. And they spent, 30 minutes probably looking for it. And they came back and they weren't able to find it. The guy, Ray, he was from California. He said, I think they know where it is, but I don't think they want to give it up. And so
we lost Marley's bike too.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere between the border
and San Felipe.
And we don't know where, but it bounced off of the rack, undid itself, and we lost that. So we've lost a bike, a paddleboard. Have we lost anything else?
Nope.
In my footage.
Wait, you forgot to tell everyone about your footage.
Oh yeah.
Thanks
to my boy Chris from Florida, who you'll see in this week's video if you check it out. Link up here, over there, or whatever it is. Sent the hard drive off to him, and he basically, I think he recovered everything. He was like, there's so much stuff on here. I'm like, yeah, there's like 7 terabytes of like footage on that. But it looks like he got most of it, which, knock on wood, that's amazing. Because I had just, in my head, I was like, it's gone. So it's going to be a weird thing because we are going to have to move forward because we won't be able to get the hard drive until we get to California, which is in a few weeks. So it'll be weird, but we're happy.
You always make it seamless.
Yeah. Well, I actually have to go back to Boston because I never did Boston either. So thank you, Chris. You're amazing. You made my day, my week, my month, and made, this experience a lot less painful for me. So thank you, buddy. And yeah.
Yeah, so after trying to find my paddle board, we decided to drive about 2.5 hours, 3 hours south to, what is it called?
I am not answering this
Guerrero
question.
Negro.
Yeah, you did. You got it. Literally, I've told you 700 times. Yeah, and this was the first spot that we're like, we don't know where we're going. We're just going to wander. And I kind of looked and was kind of looking through the map and everything. And I was like, well, Guerrero Negro, that sounds like a cool spot. And it's on the Pacific side. So we basically crossed over. And then there's 2 parts to Baja. There's Baja California and there's Baja California Sur. And we crossed over the border into Baja California Sur.
Oh, that's what that border thing is.
Yeah, because there's
why does it look like there's another border?
Yeah, I don't know what the difference between the two is, but yeah. So we crossed another border and came down here to it's like a whale preservatorium.
So they do a lot of whale tours over here. There's a restaurant down the road a ways, and then they do a bunch of whale tours. So
yeah, it's pretty. There's nobody down here. It's
not a lot to do, and you can't really even go to the beach. It's all like marsh, and so that's what we're doing today on Sunday. Just kind of hanging out, getting things cleaned up and worked on. And
filmed 2 of these in one day. Shh. I basically went outside and shaved and took my sweatshirt.
You're not supposed to tell people.
Just saying. Behind the scenes. Spoiler alert.
So that's it, guys.
That's our Sunday. Let's go through them again. Weekend headline news, 10-minute tie-up, weekend wind-up, the weekly Overland Omnibus, the weekend wrap-up, a week with the Ox family. Or Ox, there's the kids. Come on in! So what we'll do is we'll put a number to each of these, comment below on the one you like the best, and then we'll go back next week, figure out which one got the most votes, and go from there. Say hi, sis.
Hi.
Okay, so
This is our oldest. This is Marley. Give him a big smile and tell him what happened.
I lost my tooth.
You sure did. Anyways, that was our week. That was the wrap-up. And we'll see you guys next week with more tales from the road.